Karl Konrad and welcome to Australian Immigration News, proudly brought to you by Australian Immigration Law Services right here in Sydney. In tonight's edition, Indonesia's turn to gain visa benefits from Australia in light of new economic cooperation. Tasmania updates its visa sponsorship requirements. Confusion over why some courses are not on the extended 485 visa list. Another petition to sign to help those who helped us during the pandemic period. The British seem worried that too many of their young people may head to Australia, and our gutsy Home Affairs Minister takes a swipe at Donald Trump Jr. Australia received a visit from the Indonesian President this week, Joko Widodo, to seek economic ties between our two countries. As part of this arrangement, Indonesians will soon be granted some visa concessions from Australia.
Indonesia and Australia must build a more substantive and economic cooperative through the joint production of electric vehicle batteries and secondly, through trade.
But Australia only offered to ease some visa rules for Indonesian citizens, addressing a long-running sore point with Jakarta.
Making an enormous difference in removing bureaucratic impediments to our closer relationship.
The new advantages for Indonesian passport holders will soon be extended business visas increasing from 3 years to 5 years validity. This is utilising the business stream of the 600 visitor visa where business people can stay 3 months after each entry to Australia. Indonesian e-passport holders will be prioritised by gaining access to the smart gates at Australian airports, and Indonesians can also access a 10-year multiple entry visitor visa called the frequent traveller stream of the 600 tourist visa. Currently, only China has access to this 3-month per entry 10-year tourist visa. Now, we do not have a timetable for when all of this is going to turn on, but we will let you know as soon as it begins. The interesting figure regarding our closest neighbour with over 300 million people is as far as trading partners go, they are ranked only number 10 on our list. Definitely more room to improve upon that figure to benefit both countries. Tasmania announced its new requirements for state sponsorship nomination. The new minimum eligibility requirements and priority attributes will apply to ROIs and applications submitted from the 3rd of July. In cases where the new requirements are likely to be beneficial, candidates are advised by Tasmania that they may wish to withdraw their current ROI and submit a new one once the gateway is available. The changes include extended eligibility for subclass 190 nomination to all occupations in the Tasmanian Skilled Employment Pathway, an updated Tasmanian onshore skilled occupation list, changes to the requirements for massage therapists, changes to income thresholds based upon updates to Australian median and average earnings and the temporary skilled migration income threshold, and minor changes to priority attributes. More detailed policy guidance in the additional information, exclusions and definitions sections of the Migration Tasmanian website. The service fee to apply for nomination has increased to $330 including GST. There is no charge to submit a registration of interest. As of the morning of the 8th of July, their gateway was still closed, so keep checking when it resumes again. And it seems all other states using their registration of interest or direct applications process are closed as well. No doubt they are waiting for their allocation of numbers before they open once again. Last year, the allocation of numbers was given quite late by the federal government. Let's hope that this financial year it will come sooner. Channel 9 News covered a story urging the government to create a new PR pathway for those who stayed in Australia and helped us during the pandemic period. The petition was created by Luke Catton, who's been in Australia since 2015. You'll find a link to that petition in the description of our video, and I urge all of our subscribers to sign in and support it. Our long-term viewers will remember we made a video about this back in August 2022. The more media attention such a topic receives, the better, and more journalists focus and keep pushing this issue is the only way to make a difference. If you missed that video, we'll leave a link at the end of this one. Since the 1st of July, there's been a number of news reports covering the cutback of most international students' working hours and how this is affecting small businesses. 9 News covered this week this story on how the cutbacks will affect small businesses.
International students, with the exception of those who work in aged care, will no longer be able to work unlimited shifts. Under visa restrictions, they'll be capped at 48 hours a fortnight.
Small businesses are crying out for more skilled workers.
Now, are we going to be invaded by 16 million young British backpackers? Well, I hope not, but some of the media commentators in the UK seem genuinely concerned a mass exodus could be just around the corner.
Loads of people walk around this country now and think, what the flipping heck has happened to Britain? Which is why I suspect the Australians are trying to swoop in and pinch not 1 million, not 2 million, no, 16 million Brits. A long-awaited amendment, apparently, which comes into force tomorrow, will see the work visa offered to people aged between 18 to 35 in Australia, a 5-year increase on the original limit of 30. It's the first change to the visa in Australia since it was introduced in 1975 under the UK-Australia Free Trade Agreement. But, look, I wanted to know from you, the overarching question is, do you feel like leaving Britain?
I think the obvious answer to that question is, who wouldn't? The media in Australia has previously described the Department of Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill as gutsy. An ABC News Stories this week reported that she had called Donald Trump Jr. a big baby. The article says her tweet making this claim was then deleted, but not before it caught the attention of the media. Tough words indeed, but what is all this about? Well, it seems that from the article that Donald Trump Jr. pulled out of his speaking tour of Australia, citing problems with the Immigration Department and his visa. This claim seemed to have enraged the Durham minister, who allegedly released a tweet saying he pulled out because of poor ticket sales and that he was a poor loser. And then the big baby label was the punchline. Seems that she might have a bit of a temper.
Eat a Snickers.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
I may have seen this side of her already since I'm banned from posting anything on her Facebook page. Seems like she didn't like the important issues we were trying to get her attention on. And now it's time for one of our readers' comments of the week. Tonight Hasib writes in and says, "Hello Karl, recently the government published 3,264 subjects which will be eligible for a 4 to 5 years of the 485 visa. In that list they mention CRICOS codes with the education provider list. For example, the Masters of Business Analytics course at Victoria University is amongst those 3,264 subject list. But the same course from Western Sydney University and the course from Wollongong University are not on the list. Does it mean that those university students will not be eligible for the 5 years of post-study work visa? Can you kindly please explain the situation in another video?" Hasib, you are correct that those courses with different CRICOS codes that are not on that 3,264 list are not acceptable for the 485 extension. However, we are not sure why some courses get on the list and some do not, and this lacks a high degree of transparency. If I were the Chancellor of the University of Wollongong, I would have been on the phone already with the Ministers for Education and Immigration asking why my courses are not listed. For you see, if this inequality is going to exist, then you will find students jumping out of the unlisted courses into the listed ones, and those looking to choose courses from the beginning, why would you bother to choose a course not on the list? This list is going to cost some providers a great deal of money. Watch this space, for I'm sure this will not be the end of the matter. Well, that's all for another fascinating week in the world of Australian immigration. If you need some assistance, we are always here. You can book an appointment to speak with us by going online first to see if there are any appointments available. But if it's urgent, we may be able to squeeze you in earlier, but you will need to call us on the phone to check. As always, take care out there and I'll see you next time. So bye for now.